The still, small voice of writers continuing my view of the coming of ebooks. I'd like to go into the good things brought by ebooks first. This is important. There's a feeling of doom and gloom in the air. Publishers tell us daily they're on the verge of collapse because of ebooks. This is not exactly true, in my opinion. Look both at yesterday's post here and at my Mad Genius Club post on 1.5, for reasons that are pushing the collapse of publishing, reasons that are ushering in ebooks. This makes both readers and writers feel odd and insecure. We have people vowing never to read in electronic format, never, 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 and others reading in electronic format only. We have strange movements in the used book sales field. We have people debating anew concepts of copyright and fair use. For writers it is still more anxiety-making. Our publishers are convinced ebooks are bankrupting them, which has turned their publishing routines upside down and made our careers very precarious. So, it's good to remind oneself the coming change has many good features. Perhaps the most important is letting an author take charge of his or her career. Here, I'd like to talk about Lloyd Beagle Jr.'s book, The Still Small Voice of Trumpets. Why would I like to talk about it? You'll see. Beagle's book was one of my favorites as a teen. It is a standard adventure science fiction with a shadowy Federation of Planets type setup. For a new world to be admitted to this federation, it must have a democratic government. However, Earth's agents are forbidden from imposing democracy from outside. In the 70s, I was greatly impressed by the motto democracy imposed from the outside is the greatest of tyrannies. This runs counter the history of Japan, for instance, but at the same age, I was also impressed by the sudden realization that we were all naked under our clothes. There are miles and miles of turpitude on the way to being a grown-up, as Pratchett might say. The world that our main character, a member of Earth's Secret Service, trying to bring about a revolution in this newly discovered planet, is sent to infiltrate is inhabited by a human breed that is absolutely enamored of beauty. In fact, the book starts with a peasant woman risking her life to keep something beautiful. The mission goes wrong from the beginning, in ways I won't detail. This post requires me to give away the ending, but even if you know that, the book is a pretty good read, full of fun and resonance. The main problem the character faces is how to bring about a revolution from within, how to spur the natives, themselves, to revolution. Though the world is ruled by an absolute king, the public is pretty satisfied with his rule. He finally finds a way to make people aware of how tyrannical the king is. You see, the king can and does send anyone who displeases him or just happens to be in his vicinity when he has a toothache or whatever to a village of the exiles. This is done by cutting off one of their arms, first. Now, most people sent to these villages are unknowns, the king's chefs, physicians, servants and probably the occasional minister. But one category send there are musicians. The main instrument in this world is a sort of harp. Here you need both hands to play it. The king, as passionate about beauty as his subjects, loves art and has musicians play before him often. Which means, he has one of their arms cut off fairly often too. These musicians are known and revered and have followings. But once their arm is cut off, they can no longer play, they go to these villages, they disappear. Their public forgets them. The main character hits upon the idea of creating trumpets that the exiled ones can play, then as the musicians parade back into civilization playing their trumpets, reclaiming their public, thereby fomenting a coup. Now, I'm not suggesting that the current state of affairs in publishing has anything to do with tyrannical anything. I mean, bookstores and distributors often seem tyrannical to readers, but I'm sure it's simply because we don't understand the imperatives of their business. We are, however, in the middle of a revolution, and one of the things the ebook tech revolution is doing, amid all the confusion and fear, is giving those writers who were consigned to exile through no fault of their own, an instrument they can play, and a road back into civilization. Writers whose fans forgot they existed, writers who spent years honing their craft only to disappear from view forever, will now be publishing again. Even better, the books have the potential to be available forever, at no cost to the publisher and or the writer. This means there is a chance for books that went relatively unnoticed, but which deserve notice, to acquire it. This is to me, perhaps because I am a writer, the best part of this revolution. It gives us instruments we can play. It allows us to come down the road, our capes fluttering, playing our trumpets, allowing people to look at us. There are many other points pro and con what is happening, many shoals on our way to a happy ending we might or might not read. The most important of these is how the reader will find us, and I do have ideas on how to do that. I'll be covering those in daily posts probably for a week. But for now, think of the series that were interrupted that you'd like to see finished. Right off the top of my head, I can tell you I want to read more of the Lord Mirren Egyptian Mysteries, written by Linda Robinson. I'm sure you can think of some yourself. Stop and think, won't it be lovely to hear again the still, small voice of vanished writers? Cross-posted at Classical Values. Related post at Mad Genius Club. If you like this content and want to support this channel, the blog, and Sarah's continued writing, please like and subscribe. If you really enjoy the content, please come and join the fun at accordingtohit.com.